A coastie is a student who generally comes from one of the two coasts, although often they come from a northern suburb of Chicago as well.
A coastie is somebody from the East Coast. They can always be spotted with their north face jackets on when it's not even cold out.
It's kind of what you wear, what you dress, but a lot of part of it is just kind of how people carry themselves, just kind of their attitude.
You can typically tell a girl coastie easier than a boy one.
I think the stereotype is more often used with girls, but it's probably either way.
There are boy coasties. They're a little bit harder to spot.
So I don't think too many people take too offense to it. I think some people might get a little worked out, but for the most part I don't think anyone means any harm by it.
I use it affectionately. One of my friends is a coastie and I love her to death, and I call her my coastie, so I think it's a term of endearment.
Shout out to the two obnoxious coastie girls who had to take the lowly Badger bus to Milwaukee this morning when they missed their flight out of Madison to New York because they woke up late from drinking and forgot their tickets. Anti-shout out to the two nasty East Coasties in front of me in lecture. 1, shut up. 2, take a fucking shower. I hate having to look at your disgusting greasing hair. Shout out to West Coasties.
And then when I moved here and started learning about some of these things, I was sort of surprised. I discovered, for example, to my shock, that a Scottie was not someone who loved scones, but apparently a native.
One of the things that I did immediately is I asked my students, I'm new here, I'm not from Wisconsin, what are some words that I need to know? And two of the first words they offered to me were Scottie and coastie.
What is this phenomenon? What is behind this?
We do get concerned a lot about the stereotyping that happens, particularly around this issue and others like it, because the stereotyping tends to simplify very complex personalities and identities and make them so that they're easily digestible for somebody, but not necessarily fair or accurate.
It's critically important to realize that these stereotypes are superficial, that there are elements of truth to them in some cases, but in many other cases, certainly not. However, there has always been a very strong etiquette, an important etiquette in the exchange of and the use of this kind of speech. One ought not to do it unless you first have made fun of yourself in some sort of fashion and enjoyed poking fun at your own cultural group. You also have to know the person. Some of you may be familiar with the 30-point buck. That is a scrawny rap. They make fun of all kinds of cheesehead stereotypes. Now, within the context of this rap, they also make fun of the no-good brother-in-law with his expensive gun, who's a fib from Illinois. We all know what that is, of course. But the rules were followed. They made fun of themselves first. There was a good-natured atmosphere. There was teasing to this other group. And if one looks at this coastie or this coastie video, the people in the video are not Scotties. They're in fact what I would call Uyghurs, white imitation gangsters. They're in this dorky pose of, they remind me of Lou Reed's song, I don't want to be black, I don't want to be a fucked up middle class college student no more, or something like that.
By 2002, the term was frequent and common enough that someone felt free to use it in an arts piece. Another one is this purely cultural one. Okay, so this is the messy ponytails, Uggs boots, North Face jackets, coastie goggles, big sunglasses, and other things like this. Once I knew about a coastie, I went looking for coasties outside the Midwest, and we're the only people left wearing Uggs boots. 11 people out of 12 at UW-Madison knew what a coastie was. They also asked, where did you learn of this word? Okay, and half of the results of people that they found outside of Madison gave a direct answer of that, oh, I know someone from Madison and they used it there. All right, so the earliest attestation that I can find of Scottie is from a blog by James Crotty from December 1999. But you may recognize these guys, okay? This is Ben Feitcher and Troy Vossler. They started Scottie Nation, okay? If you've seen a Scottie t-shirt, it's those guys, all right? We have to give them credit for probably very much popularizing the term much more than what it was, okay? But they did this in 2004. As far as I can track down, they're also from Chicago. So they're not really Scotties, I guess.
I'm actually from Wisconsin.
Oh, hey, I got your t-shirts. Good to see you. Okay, good job. All right, I am a Scottie too. I don't really have a set answer for what these words mean, right? Because it's really based on who uses it and who hears it. Okay, if they're meant to be hurtful, they will be hurtful. If you expect them to be hurtful when you hear them, they will be hurtful. Okay, but they don't have to be that way.
This video was posted October 13th, 2009. As of this afternoon, it's had 175,446 hits. Yeah, are you kidding? This fashion is all over Madison. It's not just a Jewish thing, hence Coastie. Fluffy Puppy 1000 says, anyone who is offended by this seriously needs to get a life. Wow. Do you ever consider how many times people from the Midwest or rural areas are made fun of by the media? Inetshu says, it is true, they always think that they are the best, but they are the worst Jewish trash I have ever seen. Busted Lover 13 says, I'm Jewish, and I thought this song was so funny. Rotation Slim says, this is so anti-Semitic. As a UW alum, I don't like it. To me, all of these shout-outs, all of the things that I just read, and I apologize for the language, do not sound like they're neutral. Okay? They do not sound like what I would envision a comment of 2.5 on a 5-point scale of being offensive or inoffensive.